Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Previously, we finished the first case of the second game, case 6 in total, and, well, I'm just really hyped to get into the thick of it with this second game, because I feel like the story is going to go places. And it's going to be great to reunite with Ryunosuke and Sherlock Holmes, or Herlock Sholmes, and Iris, so that's nice. But, gosh, I have one more thing to say. Right, so I'm sorry to spring such a heavy topic on you guys out of the blue, but in between recording sessions, I actually suffered a great personal tragedy. See, at the end of the last video, I said that, boy, I was so hungry for some ramen. And as soon as I was done recording, I would go eat some. Put some chili flakes in it. An egg. Oh, it'd be delicious. Well, I got out of my chair and I walked over to the kitchen, where I discovered that we were out of ramen. Tears were shed. Anyway. Wait, no, I think I just want to continue, don't I? Yeah. Yeah, let's do this. Episode 2. The Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro.
It was a ghastly tale of a winter's night. One of an invisible killer and a crime perpetrated on the pavement along Briar Road. As the victim lay at death's door, the mystery of just who had stabbed the young lady from behind had been resolved. But no sooner had my friend saved that Eastern Exchange student from his harrowing plight,
Green!
in the dim, flickering shadows of gaslight did a second bizarre crime rend the stillness of that very night. I dare say most can still recall the sensational headlines of the day. Haunted apartment of death, the condemned criminal's curse, the dread demon of coal gas. Yet, though the great detective had at once discerned the truth upon his arrival at the scene, it only proved to be the overture that announced the rising of the curtain on a most tragic play.
Okay, so this is a follow-up to that Green case. My god, and another murder at the Garada household, and dare I hope that figure at the end in the flamboyant clothes, could that be my beloved foppish dandy that I wanted so much more of? Could it be? Could it be? Oh boy, this is gonna be good. Oh, this is gonna be good. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a fledgling lawyer just starting out on my journey. 6 months ago, I arrived as a visiting student of law, having made the long voyage across the sea from the Empire of Japan to here, London, England. And on the way, in quite extraordinary circumstances, I made the acquaintance of a world-famous detective. Currently, I reside in the attic of the detective's own lodgings, from where I run my legal consultancy of sorts. I've successfully defended a number of clients in Britain's highest court, the Old Bailey. But since a particularly grueling and unforgettable legal battle 4 months ago now, I haven't returned to the courtroom. In truth, I lost my right to return. But that epic trial was just one small part of an epic tale, a tale which was now about to awaken from slumber. Thanks to a letter that arrived this morning from my homeland. What a delicious smell wafting up the stairs. Good things don't waft. No, waft is for stinky things. It must be nearly time for breakfast. I'd better go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite and say good morning to the great detective and his flatmate. Well, I see that in the time we've been away, not one single thing has changed.
Oh, Runo, good. I was just about to call up to you. The bacon's ready.
Bacon? I had bacon this morning. It was delicious. Good morning, Iris. It smells delicious as usual. Before we eat, though, I have some news. I had a surprise... Shh! Not another word, Mr. Naruhodo. This could be just the abstruse thing for my pre-breakfast stagnation-repelling mental stimulation, my dear fellow. Morning to you too, Mr. Sholmes. Wait, he got his machine back, didn't he? Neat. Ah, yes, I see, so that's it. You have a wonderful skincare routine, sir. The truth is as clear to me as day. My faculties of observation have revealed it again. What are you talking about? You, Mr. Naruhodo, you have this very morning met with a surprise. Well, is that not the case? Really, my dear fellow, it barely warrants explanation. Firstly, your hair is particularly unkempt, somewhat reminiscent of a bird's nest. Secondly, you have neglected to fasten the third button of your jacket. Clearly, when considered together, these two facts point to you having been flustered this morning. Can I talk now? But of course, though I don't look for admiration, you understand. My hair always looks like this. It's been this way since I first met you. Oh, it has? And the button was ripped off last night, if you remember. By you.
Hurley pulled your button off?
Yes, I recall the incident now. It was after supper, was it not? As the evening advanced, I picked up my violin and began to play the wailing notes of a haunting tune. But then, to my utter dismay, the third string snapped. Why did it have to happen? Why? Little wonder, then, that in my vexation I grabbed the first button I saw and ripped it from its proper place. Well, I'd like it back now, please. It's troubling me that I can't fasten my jacket. And it's troubling me that you expect me to know where it is. Somewhere thereabouts on the floor, one presumes. Helpful. What matters at the present time, my dear fellow, is simply whether or not my deduction was unerring.
But Hurley, Bruno said it when he came in, didn't he?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I had a surprise this morning.
Well, that really is a surprise. Yes, this man is the pride of the British Empire, the famous consulting detective Mr. Herlock Sholmes. There can't be a single person in the world who doesn't know his name. Ryunosuke didn't know his name before.
Alright then, enough of this silly conversation. Come and eat this bacon before it goes cold. And I have a new herbal tea for you to try too, my latest special blend.
And here we have Iris Wilson, Mr. Sholmes' lodger and companion. A truly exceptional young girl who is the author of a highly successful serialization here in London. Yes, The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes are as published in Randst magazine. So, Mr. Naruhodo, won't you put us out of our misery? What surprised you this fine morning? Well, I received a letter from Japan.
Oh, from Susie, you mean? Was it? Really?
That's right, and she had some rather startling news, in fact. Intriguing indeed. You must tell us all about it over breakfast.
Oh yes, what fun!
Hey, we get to look around. Well, Mr. Sholmes, what do you think of this? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, about this. Shush, not another word. Ah, yes, I see. This would be a collar for a breed of miniature canine with a particularly long neck, and for winter use. Actually, it's the armband I always wear that symbolizes my role as a defense lawyer. Precisely, which leads us to but one conclusion. Your arm is in fact that particularly long neck of a miniature canine. He has to be joking, right? He's joking, right? I'm starting to wish I'd never showed him the mental image. Oh god. Shown him this now. The man's barking mad. Hey. Oh boy. Okay. Let's look at his machine. That machine really is imposing, isn't it? But I can never remember its name.
Hurley calls it his great analytoscope. It can analyze anything at all.
That doesn't really help me. What does analyzing something even mean? Ah, an extremely astute question, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Well, as Iris said, my machine here spits out analysis results of anything with which you care to present it. But how to interpret those results, that's the key, and I confess I have no idea. Clearly I'm going to have to construct a great analytoscope to solve the problem. That might not help. Oh man, that's how you get that supercomputer from, what the hell's it called? That one sci-fi book that's an adaptation of a radio play with the guy named Ford and the spaceship and the depressed robot named Marvin. But yeah, that's how that supercomputer that came about that determined that the answer to life, the universe, and everything was 42. You make computers to build other better computers to analyze better until you get the 42. Books, papers, scientific implements. These shelves are stuffed to the gunnels. Miss Usato wouldn't be able to help herself if she were here. She can't stand mess.
Susie might not be able to stand mess, but she wouldn't dare touch those shelves.
Oh? Why not?
Everything's in intricate balance. Hurley spends ages on it. If you were to touch even one thing, the whole lot would come tumbling down. Susie noticed it was a very delicate arrangement right from the outset.
You make it sound like a meeting of great minds. But the truth is, Mr. Sholmes just needs to tidy up. Can't even look at the bullet holes. Ah yes, Mr. Sholmes' faithful musical companion. Wasn't this violin made by somebody famous? Yeah, Stradivarius.
Yes, it's a Stradivarius. Though I'm afraid you'd have to save up for 100 years before you could afford one, Runo.
But didn't you buy it for a song, Mr. Sholmes? I found it at a pawnbrokery among the forfeited articles. It clearly said Stradivarius on the label. What? The ignorant broker had no idea of its true value, you see, so I paid a mere 55 shillings for it. Yes, I have something of a turn for shopping. Herlock Sholmes, bargain hunter. But is it really a Stradivarius then? But of course, my dear fellow, it said so on the label. I think perhaps the ignorant broker had something of a turn for selling. Wow. The plot twist. Amazing. Oh, I think we're already done with this screen. I'll take it. When it gets to this time of year, Londoners seem to leave their hearths alight all day long, and I love it. There's something very relaxing about watching the flames flit and dance about. But a fireplace in days of summertime is a waste of space. Really no use at all.
Rather like a great detective in days of no crimes and no criminals, huh, Hurley?
But consider this. Instead of a fireplace, a frost place. That's my latest idea. An extraordinary hearth from which emanates a cool breeze in the hot summer months. What do you think? I think if you invented such a thing, your name would go down in history. The principle is extremely simple. One must, of course, light a cold fire in the hearth. Yes, of course, brilliant. The trouble is, none of the fires I build ever burn cold. How it taunts me. So, as you British say, it's a bit of a damp squib? Huh? Ah, yes, the huge metal chest with the lace cloth laid on it, being used as a table for tea and coffee. It's very sturdy, that's for sure, and firmly locked shut.
That chest contains my father's detailed records of Hurley's many cases.
Yes, so I've been led to believe, though personally I've never actually seen inside.
And that's the way it will stay. Those papers are a secret between Daddy and me. If you go opening it uninvited, you might find yourself being bitten.
What, is there a beast inside there or something? Wagahai? Oh god, Wagahai's in the box. Is it alive or dead? These are different pieces of evidence from cases you've solved, aren't they, Mr. Sholmes? Not quite, Mr. Naruhodo, not quite. These trinkets are a selection from cases I've solved with particular aplomb. They are souvenirs of my success. Memories, Mr. Naruhodo, memories! Really? So, tell me about the case in which the bust of Napoleon featured. Didn't that break? And it had money in it? I forget. Memories, he says. Wonderful, Mr. Sholmes, wonderful. Man, just the other day, actually, I was just sitting there on my bed looking at the bookshelf in my room, and I had stuff from like my childhood on display, like little toys and whatnot. I just sat there for a moment, just looking at them and feeling emotions about it. Sometimes life is so weird, you know? You can look at little objects and feel emotions about them. Life is crazy sometimes, dude. There are so many different bottles up there on that charming little set of white shelves.
Oh, do be careful, Runo. You mustn't try the contents of any of those bottles, even if you're hungry.
I wouldn't do something stupid like that. Not a child, you know.
Well, I wish I could say the same for Hurley. The other day, he polished off a full bottle of one of my alkaloids.
You what?
He said he was hungry.
I'll be extra careful. Ah, yes, this is where you note down ideas, isn't it, Iris? What's in the melting pot today? Huh, the blue carbuncle? Carbuncle?
Yes, it's from a case of theft that Hurley solved ages ago. The theft of a precious stone.
Oh, those no-good summoners. Getting their little pet carbuncles to do all sorts of nasty deeds.
A carbuncle is another name for a garnet, you see, especially if it's cut with a rounded top.
Oh. Oh, really? And this garnet was blue, was it? They stole the princess? Princess Garnet? Okay, enough with the Final Fantasy jokes.
Well, that's the thing. They're usually red. No blue garnets have ever been discovered.
Wait. Wasn't there a thing about the escaped ballerina from Russia stole blue gemstones? Wasn't that a thing? Oh.
So who knows what the stolen gemstone actually was? That's the real mystery of the case.
A proper Herlock Sholmes conundrum, huh? Huh. I look forward to finding out what aroma your tea will have, Iris, every single day.
Well, I infuse a different concoction of herbs from the garden every time, so it's never the same twice.
When you call it a concoction, it sounds more like a science experiment than something for tea time.
Oh yes, that's because different blends can have very different properties. Some calm you down, some make you feel jolly, some give you energy. Today's particular blend is something quite special, so you're really in for a treat.
That sounds ominous.
I can type with my eyes shut, you know.
I can believe it. When a deadline's approaching, you sound like a Gatling gun.
That reminds me of a dream I had the other day. It was such a funny one, it woke me actually. I was typing for a whole hour in the pitch black, but I didn't make a single mistake.
That's incredible.
But then, when it got light, I found that there wasn't any paper in the machine. Now I wonder if I'd actually been typing at all.
I think you might just have fallen asleep on the job. Huh. Boy, I had a nightmare 2 nights ago. It wasn't a scary nightmare. It was one of those boring, stressful adult nightmares. Oh man. Okay, it's kind of long, but it's funny, so maybe I'll share it. So I dreamt that I was in Hawaii, a place I'd never been, but I was hating it because I was sweltering under the heat. I was just drenched in sweat in this dream, and I hated it. Like, I'm one of those people who sweats at the drop of a hat. Like, I feel a sweat breaking out just by unloading the dishwasher. That's the kind of person I am. Like, and I hate it. Sweating is the most annoying, disgusting thing in the world for me. I hate it. I hate my life. But anyway, yeah. So there I was in Hawaii, sweltering under the heat. And I dreamt that my mother was in California for some reason. I don't know why. Neither of us have ever lived in Hawaii or California. But I was like, oh, another hot place. And it's like, some emergency happened, so I had to go to the airport at the drop of a hat and fly there to California to get to her. And so there I was. I walked into this airport, and I go up to this automated terminal that had this really old-timey, small, green screen, and the only inputs were like a set of numbers below, like the 10 numbers you would see on like a public phone, made of metal and all that. So I was trying to hunch down, because I was really tall. Well, I am tall, I'm 6'4". I was hunched down to normal person height, straightening my back to look at this tiny, stupid, green, antiquated screen, trying to work out the numbers. And I couldn't figure out how to work it to order my ticket to get on a plane. And so I pressed the button on the side to get assistance, and I hear a voice crackling from this device in front of me, and I couldn't make it out. It was too muffled and garbled and staticky. I was going, hello? Hello, are you an attendant? Can you help me, please? I need to order a ticket. And then I hear a voice from behind me. I don't turn around to see who it was, but I hear a voice from behind me say, oh, you need to pick up the phone to hear the attendant. And then I look again at the machine, and there was this giant, enormous red phone on a wire, one of those curly cords, just bright, vibrant red that somehow I missed completely. So I take it off, and I listen to it, And the attendant is super cheery and helpful, and I end up quite liking them, and they're helping me through. And I was like, okay, so I need to go to California. And they're like, okay, what airport? And then I freeze up, realizing, oh my god, I don't know what airport I need to go to. So I am holding the big cartoon red phone in my left hand and trying to desperately dial my mother in my right phone. Like, Mom, where do you live? Help. And it was at that time that I woke up. Oh my god. It was simultaneously the most boring yet also entertaining dream I've ever had. Anyway. Oh, right, I'm Let's Playing here. What are we doing? This is the letter that arrived from Japan this morning by International Post.
Oh, how lovely! Look at Susie's beautiful writing. I wish I could read it.
Oh yeah, it would be in Japanese, wouldn't it? And how is your assistant faring, may I ask? She's very well, thank you. In fact, according to what she's written, she's actually appeared as a lawyer at the Japanese Supreme Court and won a case.
Oh, really? Oh, isn't she wonderful?
A cut above your good self, my dear fellow. I've won cases too, you know. Apparently, Mr. Natsume appeared in the trial as a witness. Natsume. No, I don't recall that name. Of course you do. We helped the man. Twice. You know, in those 2 cases that took place on Briar Road 6 months ago. Ah, the mustached, twitchy man with the somewhat feline eyes and the mustache. He didn't have 2 mustaches, Hurley. Yes, who could forget those 2 cases? They made a very deep impression on me. Although I must confess the details are a little hazy now. A very deep impression they made on you, clearly. So, what was that startling news penned by Miss Susato? Do you remember the case of the haunted lodgings, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, yes, it's very interesting, you know. I don't feel entirely uncertain that a case of that nature did not occur. He's totally forgotten then. Anyway, in her letter, Miss Susato asked that we read over her case notes again and investigate further. Though it took place half a year ago, for what purpose? Because of something that Mr. Natsume said to her, apparently. He suggested that the real reason why she was called back to Japan so suddenly might have something to do with that case of the haunted lodgings. Oh? On Mr. Natsume's return to Japan, Miss Susato's father questioned him about the case, she says. And something Mr. Natsume said appeared to trouble Professor Mikotoba, prompting him to send that telegram.
Oh, that case, yes. It was very strange, wasn't it?
Wait, did we see this case or not? Yes.
And I had compiled the whole story into a nice, neat manuscript ready for publication, too. But then Hurley here was all funny about it, remember? He was very mean. That story must not be published, you said, very mysteriously as well.
Really? I said that? Are you sure? Do you perhaps know something about it as well, Mr. Sholmes? About why Miss Susato was suddenly told 4 months ago, 4 mouths ago, that she had to return to Japan? That's a typo. 4 mouths ago.
It's been 4 months now since we waved Susie off at Dover. It was such a shock, wasn't it? The way she just suddenly announced that she had to go back to Japan.
Indeed it was, due to a telegram she received from her homeland, I believe. That's right. telling her to return urgently. Yes, because her father had passed away. No. It just said that he was suffering from a high fever, the cause of which was unknown. He's not dead. But according to this letter, that news about her father's fever was just a ruse.
A ruse? So Susie's daddy lied to her so that she'd make the voyage back home? Why would he do that?
I have to admit I have absolutely no idea. But she believes it's almost certainly related to the case of the haunted lodgings. Summoning her back to Japan so suddenly like that. I wonder what Miss Susato's father is hiding.
Hurley, do you know what it's all about?
He got his coat on. Huh? Ah, well, who can say? What? But you said... Please, I have engagements, my dear fellow. My calendar is quite surprisingly full today. And a stringent analysis of the matter would be excessive, I feel, even if I were quite at leisure. So, man the fort in my absence, won't you, Iris?
I will, Hurley, don't worry. See you later.
He scuttled off rather quickly there. I think perhaps Professor Makotoba isn't the only person hiding something here. Sosuke-san was involved in 2 cases, but only one of them was forbidden from being published. By, of all people, Mr. Sholmes.
Aha! I found them at last!
Iris, are they?
The notes about the case. That's right. Susie and I compiled them together. The case of the haunted lodgings. Do you want to read them, Runo?
Absolutely. Thank you, Iris. I have no idea what secrets could still be hiding in the shadows of this case, but perhaps if I read over the notes again, something might come to light.
That's the spirit.
And so, Iris and I decided to read over the case notes again together. Everything from what happened to our investigation and that fierce battle in court that followed. Reliving every detail, I just need to find a clue, and I have all the time in the world. Because, of course, I'm no longer allowed to practice law in the courts of Great Britain. He is? He isn't? I don't remember that. What happened? Am I dumb? What happened? It was 6 months ago, a mysterious incident that unfolded on the wintry streets of London. Oh, it is this case. A young woman was found lying on the snowy pavement of Briar Road with a knife in her back. Fortunately, her life was spared, but she was unconscious for several days following the incident. The fog was thick, and nobody saw her attacker, but by a cruel twist of fate, a visiting Japanese student was walking behind her at the time and was duly arrested. That man was Sosuke-san, and the man who effected his arrest was Mr. Sholmes. Believing in our compatriot's innocence, Susato-san and I decided to represent Sosuke-san in court. And after a grueling trial of many twists and turns, we finally managed to prove his innocence. Joyful, joyous, jubilant jubilation! Was the man's reaction after the trial, but his jubilant jubilation was short-lived. We received a telegram from Mr. Sholmes the following morning. The victim of the Briar Road stabbing has regained consciousness. Hurry to Bart's at once. So Susato-san and I summoned a hansom and headed immediately to the hospital. Well, alright. This room does look familiar. I think they're just reusing that room that Herlock Sholmes was put up in. But, yeah, lots of new stuff to look at. There you are at last! Good morning, Mr. Sholmes. I think not.
Oh!
You're late! What on earth took you so long?
Your telegram only arrived at 5 o'clock, Mr. Sholmes, and it's a 20-minute ride to a hospital.
And that's right, and it's 5:30 now. I think we made very good time. The time is utterly irrelevant. The fact is, I have been waiting for what has felt like an eternity. In point of fact, I myself was woken at 4 this morning by a telegram boy. And feeling it was somewhat unjust that I alone had been roused at such an hour, I sent one to you. Well, thanks for that. Anyway, you're here now, so the victim is over there. She's only just regained consciousness. It's her. You should introduce yourselves, and I shall observe from here. So that's the lady who was found on the snow-covered pavement with a knife in her back.
Her name is... yes, here we are. Miss Green.
Oh, neat. First things first. Rat friend.
Eek, a mouse, Mr. Naruhodo. An enormous mouse.
Vermin in a hospital? That doesn't seem the best.
But it looks like a very healthy specimen, doesn't it? It's very plump.
I'm not sure we can say that's down to the excellence of this facility, if that's what you were thinking. That's totally a pet. Look, there's a photograph in this frame here. Oh. A son or husband, perhaps?
Oh yes, it's a picture of a young gentleman.
He looks to be at the same age as Miss Green, I would say. Perhaps the young woman's special someone, do you think?
My, Mr. Naruhodo. I didn't know you had a sense for matters of the heart.
Not in the least. I sincerely said the first thing I thought of. This rounded wooden figure isn't the most charming, is it?
I don't think that's a decoration, Mr. Naruhodo. It's an artist's mannequin, I believe, used when practicing sketching the human form in different poses.
Really? It's not exactly what you'd call a typical figure for that purpose, though, is it?
No, I suppose not. I confess I've never seen one quite so full-figured before.
Well, if you want to draw a full-figured person, it's the right tool for the job. Yeah, Miss Green's sweetie must draw her a lot. Neat. This looks like the patient's treatment notes. Let's see. Do not feed. What is this place, a zoo?
You know, I seem to remember seeing an almost identical sign in our local park.
For the pigeons, yes. This is a person. Poor woman, I hope she hasn't read this. There are lots of bottles in that cabinet, aren't there? Do you think it's safe to keep them like that?
If you were a patient here, I feel sure you take some medicine by mistake when you were half asleep.
That is a worry. But at least the cabinet has a lock, even if it's only a flimsy-looking one.
Oh, I've no doubt you'd manage to unlock that somehow while you were half asleep as well.
There are limits even to what I can do when I'm half asleep, you know, Miss Usato. And it's good to see her again.
That must be a bag of Miss Green's personal belongings.
She would have been brought directly here after she was found stabbed on the pavement, though. I expect a friend or a family member probably brought some things for her. Alright then, let's see what's inside. A change of clothes, no doubt, and...
No, Mr. Naruhodo, you must never scrutinize a young maiden's personal belongings.
But the young maiden might have chocolates or biscuits or caramel. Why, just because she's fat? Stereotypes, Ryunosuke, stereotypes. We'll look at Miss Green last. Ah, this looks like the treatment notes for whoever's occupying this bed. Let's see. Do not permit to run around the hospital.
The patient doesn't seem to be here at the moment, so...
He or she is probably running around the hospital then.
Oh dear, how worrying.
What's worrying is why they haven't discharged the patient yet. There are all sorts of medicines in this cabinet, look. I'm not sure if it's safe leaving them in reach of everyone like this.
Yes, you're right. I can imagine if you were peckish, you might try a whole bottle or two.
Well, at least there seems to be a little lock to secure the cabinet doors.
I don't imagine that would stop you if you were hungry. I worry that you'd break the lock.
Hunger doesn't turn me into a criminal, you know, Miss Susato. Fair enough. Good morning. Hello, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan.
Oh no! Was it your knife that... Are you the man who...
No, I'm a lawyer. Yeah, maybe she's heard that Sosuke was the one who did it.
And I'm Susato Mikotoba, pleased to meet you. Oh no! Was it your knife then? Are you the one? No, I assure you, I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. We heard that you'd regained consciousness and wanted to come to give you our best wishes. Best wishes? For me? Thank you. I'm Olive Green. I'm an artist. Well, no, that's not right, is it? What I mean is, I'm trying to be an artist. Well, what I really mean is, I desperately want to be an artist. But the truth is, I don't have any talent. I know I don't. It's no wonder I was stabbed in the back.
Oh. I don't think that's related, actually.
Gosh, this young woman seems to bend over backwards to put herself down.
Seeing as we're here, we should ask her about what happened from her perspective, I suppose. So she has a key around her neck. That is most interesting. Oh, I can't actually converse from here. Alright. I can examine, but I can't present, so... hold on. So... Oh. My god, we still have the second-hand book receipt. That's gonna be relevant. Yeah, the picture of Monsieur Lecoq, a meal for Gabarot, and Canterbury earrings. Neat. And, yeah, wow. Yeah, that's where the real stabbing took place, isn't it? Wait, no. No, this is wrong. The stabbing happened right over here. The sleepy guardsman guy moved the body over here so it wouldn't be in his jurisdiction. I remember that. This map is wrong and misleading. I think. To suddenly be struck in the back of a blade by a blade as you were walking along the pavement. What a terrible experience you've had, Miss Green.
It was so cold that day, and the fog was so thick, I couldn't see a thing. That was 4 days ago now, I think. Is that right? Yes, that's right. I'm afraid you've been comatose all that time. But the case has been solved, hasn't it? Well, I've been here in hospital, I mean.
Indeed it has, my dear madame. Spectacularly, by none other than I, Herlock Sholmes.
Mr. Sholmes, as you well know, it was Mr. Naruhodo's hard work in court that solved the case.
Are you yet to hear what happened, Miss Green?
Yes, I'm afraid so. A gentleman from the police force is supposed to be coming to fill me in shortly. Oh, I see. Me coming round seems to have made everyone frantically busy. I'm so sorry. I should never have regained consciousness. It was selfish of me. Oh no, we're all so relieved that you're on the mend, Miss Green. Really, we are.
With that kind of attitude, maybe her surname should be Blue, not Green. So, you're an artist, are you, Miss Green?
Oh no, oh, I couldn't possibly claim that. I'm a fledgling artist at best. I mean, I'm a student of art, really, at the Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts.
I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's English, right?
Oh my, an Academy of Fine Arts. Great Britain is such a wonderful country.
Tell me, Miss Green, do you live hereabouts?
Oh no, actually, I don't deserve it, but I have a little flat in Brixton Road.
I see. How very interesting.
Oh no, is it?
Brixton is some 10 stops away on the underground from here, and Thorndike Academy is a mere 3-minute walk from Brixton town center. It's only weird if you make it weird. Does that matter, Mr. Sholmes? Perhaps not, but Briar Road is a far less salubrious part of town by comparison, dwelt in by those of inferior means. Gina? Gina? Gina's territory? Maybe? Including the maleficent Mr. Mustache. Inferior means? I suppose Sosuke-san does fit the bill. It struck me as somewhat out of the ordinary for a young fine art student to be walking in such a district. That's all. What's this? She's suddenly clammed up.
Mr. Sholmes, you should be ashamed of yourself prying into a young maiden's private affairs.
Oh dear me, do forgive me.
If you don't mind. I'm being discharged shortly, so I need to pack up my things.
Man, I now remember what this lady reminds me of. She looks like she came right out of The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. She looks like she has that art style. Like that bun on her head, I swear I've seen that on a character in that game before. I'll have to go look up the art. Maybe I'm thinking of Ariel? Link's little sister? No! It's Tetra! Yeah, she has Tetra's little bob. Right? Oh, that reminds... Yeah, it reminds me of Tetra, I think. Huh. Man, it still weirds me out. Okay, maybe it doesn't still weird me out, but it's so weird that... Okay, spoilers for like a friggin' 20-year-old game. Is anyone else weirded out that Tetra lost all of her melanin when she transformed into Zelda? It's weird, right? It's weird. Like... And for that matter, Sheik. In Sheik's first appearance in Ocarina of Time and in concept art, Sheik had a little bit of brown skin going on. But then you look at Sheik in like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and it's like, White, what's the deal? Stop whitewashing my elves. Anyway. Oh yes, of course, we won't keep you. Thank you so much, Miss Green. Is there a Mr. Narrow Fodder here? Mr. Narrow Fodder.
Narrow fodder now?
Well, if you're looking for Naruhodo, the lawyer, that's me, but... Ah, Mr. Narrow Fodder, good. This is for you. It's a message from Mr. Saucy Nutsmeg.
Oh, Sosuke Natsume. Oh, I get it. Oh.
I'm gonna be real. Sometimes I call Sasuke from Naruto the sauce. I get it, sauce.
Mr. Natsume sent a message to me? Why would a policeman be delivering a message from Mr. Natsume?
Exactly. What's going on? What's a Scotland Yard constable doing playing delivery boy at this time in the morning? Oh, what are you waiting for? Let me see that. Oh. Well, this is most unexpected. Is something wrong, Mr. Sholmes? Is something wrong, Mr. Sholmes, he says. Have you not seen this note?
No, how could I have?
It would seem that London's criminals have no intention of letting the great detective rest. A new case calls. A case of murder, no less. We must depart at once.
Murder?
Call a cab. Time is of the essence.
But the trouble is, we've yet to read Mr. Natsume's note. I was thinking we ought to pay him a visit in his lodgings once we did.
That'll be entirely convenient.
Convenient? What do you mean?
It's all here in the note, my dear fellows. The murder we must investigate took place at Mr. Mustache's lodgings.
Ah. Wait, what? I'll hear a fiacre.
You made that word up.
At once.
It was only yesterday that Sosuke-san was in court and we were dispelling doubts about his innocence. And now, the very next day, there's a murder at the man's own address. He may very well be the unluckiest man alive. Or so it seemed to us at the time, but we were soon to discover it was worse than we thought. Oh my. No! Not him! Wait. Wasn't he? No, Yellow was the other guy. It's him! No, my beloved! No! I wanted to do more voices for you so badly. Oh, my jester friend in purple. No! Oh, I'm mad. Oh, I'm really mad. No! No, wait, okay, here comes the cope. The copium, I'm huffing copium. He's just slumped over being melodramatic. The real body's been moved out of the scene. The police have already processed everything. This man's just being melodramatic because, like, his friend was killed or something. We're good. We're good. He's alive. He's like slumping like Herlock Sholmes sometimes does. He's part of a play, and he's being dramatic. He's acting. We're good. We're good, right? We're good, right? Say it ain't so. Okay, well. Boy, there's already a lot of things to investigate. You know, I was thinking when we saw the inside of Sosuke's room in the Garudeb house case, I was like, boy, there's really nothing relevant about the piping. That red box that's locked on the wall with the pipes everywhere. Like, sure, there was dialogue for it when you investigated, but it was not relevant to the case at all. I feel like that's gonna change with this one. I feel like the boxes and the pipes are gonna be super important. I just realized there's something weird and striped near his feet. Like behind the rightmost leg of that table. What is that? Oh man, guess we'll find out next time. So, having a playable extended flashback is a really elegant way for Susato to just be here. We're flashing back to, like, between the 4th and 5th cases of the previous game. I mean, that works. That works, which means, I assume from cases 3, 4, and 5 and this one, we'll be in the present dealing with a grand conspiracy. Well, honestly, we know that something about the grand conspiracy behind everything is relevant to this. This is the very case that Herlock Sholmes wanted hushed and forbade Iris from publishing. Something about this is a huge giveaway to something, and it's got Sholmes spooked. It is so nice to see Miss Green. I was so right. I was so right they kept her alive for a reason. Oh, everything about this game is so good. Except the dead jester here. God damn it. I'm Zephyr the Jester in mourning. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.